that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run. Whoa, let that fuse and run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bang. Try that in upstate, boy, it's a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, light that fuse and run. I say, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run. Whoa.
Yo, what is up, 24/7 Buff Fandemonium? It's your guy, Swank. It's Sunday. It's 3:01 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is an hour and a half before kickoff today. And that can only mean one thing, man. It's time for Sunday sessions with these three goons that you see right in front of you. We are part of the Buff Fan Base Network and super proud to be also sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com and give them every single cent you have. They do great things for Western New York families, and you can look fly. Win. Now, let me introduce the panel. Right over here next to me up top is Mr. Ryan Thomas, RT of the Thomas Takes Sports podcast, right here on the Buff Fan Base Network. Ryan, tell the people what's going on. How you feeling today? What's up?
I'm feeling good. It's Bills game day. Little weird that this game was shifted from 1 o'clock to 4:25. Can I just, let the cat out of the bag? Right. I mean, I was a little shocked that this one was flexed for the 4:25 time slot for the nation to tune into. But hey, Josh Allen is the man. So they want as many eyeballs on Josh Allen as possible. He's great for the game, great for the Bills, and fun to watch on Sundays, Mondays, or Thursdays.
Tuesdays, Wednesday, whenever. I don't care.
Saturday playoff game. Who knows?
Yeah, right. Who cares? Super Bowl, whatever. Right below me and Ryan right here is my brother from another mother. You might know him as Scott. I call him Scooter Magruder. Scoot, what do you goot, buddy? What's going on?
What's up, guys? You know what? It probably has to be the visual, right? Let more people lay eyes on Josh Allen. That's why we're doing 425. Yeah. I mean, you're screwing a lot of people over who plan on that 1 o'clock game. Especially with two Eastern teams, AFC Eastern Division. Keep it 1 o'clock. I'm sorry, NFL, you fucked up on this one too. Pardon the language. But 1 o'clock it isn't. 4:25 it is. So I guess we start drinking now.
I started drinking at the original kickoff. Dude.
That's what I'm saying. They're making me drink till 7 now instead of 4:20.
Great.
It'd be hair of the dog for me. It's been a wild few days for our team.
Yeah?
It's been a bit. It's been a bit.
Well, you trying to live action the Hangover, like
holiday work party, holiday house party, and Bills. Good weekend.
That's it. So far. You're gonna need a Monday rehab for that liver, my man.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to drink some Poland Spring Smart Water,
straight out the mountain.
Here's liver. I apologize for the next couple weeks.
I gotta get prepped for Christmas Eve. That's the all out, drinking night for me. Christmas Eve for some reason. Yeah. I don't know why. It just always has been.
Is it beer or cocktail for you guys on Christmas Eve and Christmas? Beers or cocktails?
I'm just throwing back what's ever out there. Whatever's out there Happy holidays. 'Tis the season.
Yeah.
Swank, I switched to Jack and ginger beer rather than ginger ale. Game changer. Just a heads up.
Yeah, I think
Ooh.
you were saying something about that on Sunday session. So that's what they use in Moscow's is the ginger beer, right?
Yep.
Instead of the ginger ale. Jack and Ginger is something my old man he'd been drinking since he was young, and then I back in our Clipper days, Scooter, that was my drink of choice, and since then, I'm back to award-winning beers. It's a great life. I love it.
Did you get the 99 cans, or is this just a 30 pack?
No, man, it's like when I used to smoke cigarettes, I could never buy a carton because I'm not that kind of smoker that smokes a carton. Like I'll smoke a pack, over the course of a week, not a carton. But if I had 99 beers, I would be like the one time I got a carton, like, oh shit, I smoked that whole carton
gone already.
Wow, what the hell? I only bummed like 2. Weird. Guys, we love doing this show at this time because it coincides with the Bills inactive list. And I got to tell you, I popped this thing up when the intro was going, and holy jumping Jesus, man, it's quite a list. So read it off to you guys, and we'll get your takes on her. Number 1, Curtis Samuel is out today. 2, Damar Hamlin and Taylor Rapp, again, both out today. Rasul Douglas out today. Matt Milano out today. Now, those top 5 names on that list are that. Wow. Okay. Tackle Tylen Grable. He's out, which not surprising. Dwayne Carter out today. So out of everybody on this list, man, there's only one that I'm kind of like, okay, but the rest of them, Jesus, those are starters.
Yeah, those are studs. I think it's safe to say, right?
Yeah. So let's go. We'll go around the horn here. RT, what do you got? What's your take on this?
Honestly, I think a lot of it is kind of what we've talked about week to week with these injuries. Sean McDermott does such a good job of finding out. It's not okay. We want to make sure that everybody's out there. We want to make sure everybody's out there for the right game, for the right opportunity, for the right. And can they get by with even their backups against the New England Patriots? I think they can. New England is such a terrible football team right now that, they feel like, hey, some of these guys can be out. We feel comfortable with who we have. But even some of those guys on that list, I would say, are guys that were out and came back, and now they're out again. So that is where my concern is. Guys like Matt Milano, Dwayne Carter, those are the 2 names that really jumped out at me. Obviously, Matt Milano left last week with a groin injury. Dwayne Carter, I'm not even sure what he had, to be quite honest with you guys. You can fill me in on that. But that's definitely concerning because he's been such a pivotal part of that defensive line as a rookie. So I'm really excited to see, some guys step up here as they did last week in a game that every week's a must win. I don't want to look past New England. We lost to them last year. But at the same time, I feel pretty comfortable with who they got.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to agree with me or not, Scott, here. And RT, I think this is where you're leaning to. But, this game doesn't seem like one where you, really got to push guys that are right on that edge or maybe you're a little banged up, right? This is one of those ones where it's like, we want to hold our spot in line here, but we're not really, looking to get a bunch of guys that are slightly banged up, completely banged up, playing the Patriots. What do you think, Scooter?
I'm looking at this, guys. A couple weeks ago when Dwayne Carter came off the list, the injured list, Jordan Phillips was in, Dwayne came in. Then the next week, it was opposites. Last week, it was both were on. So I want to say potentially this is a based on who they're playing kind of situation, defensive tackle-wise. Jordan Phillips is playing. Dwayne's out this week. Probably more concerned about the run than because Jordan Phillips is obviously good against the run. Defensive backs, that must mean Cole Bishop is playing, which is good, which is a good sign because he was injured last week. We're going to see a lot of guys like the Kareem Jacksons and the Cam Lewises of the world that we do want to see if there's a good depth back there. But I don't know, you're taking reps away from your starters. I would not force people back if you have to against these next 3 games. But you also don't want them losing a step and getting tired and having to reacclimate to the speed of the game. kind of surprised, kind of not, but I am happy to see that offense is intact other than Curtis Samuel. Jalen Virgil's a guy that's come in on the past and held reps. He was used a lot in motion. He's a speed guy, so potentially you're not losing a lot there. So I like what the offense is bringing. Perhaps.
Sorry, I was getting my brother Brent's in the comments. I wanted to make sure he knew I was drinking a PBR. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I looked down, I saw Brent, and I was like, that's why he's doing it. But offensively, I think we're okay. Defensively, I think just don't give up 40 points. This will be the third week that we, as Bills fans, the Bills Mafia, do not want to see another 40 burger, even a 30 burger. Let's stop these guys. You're playing against a rookie right guard because there's a rookie right guard starting and a rookie quarterback. Create pressure. You can create pressure with anybody. So since we're down, you might as well bring some blitzes there. Babbage, bring it.
I like it. For me, man, this list is a little disheartening. But I would say if you're treating this as kind of a bye week ish, like in that sense that you're resting guys, and that's always been McDermott's MO. He's not playing a guy that's hurt or half hurt, like, you know, unless it's a MVP candidate that's put up the season of his career with a broken hand. Like maybe he'll let that guy play. That was breaking earlier today that apparently the rest of the world didn't know that Josh Allen had a broken hand.
You guys probably saw my post this morning. Maybe Swank, you saw it. I was like, apparently it's news to everybody that this guy's been playing with a glove with tape on his hand since week 1. So it's pretty remarkable.
As long as you got something on it, you got to understand that there's something wrong with it, right? So you got the glove on, it's still broken. I mean, come on.
I'll say this, and I know the whole MVP thing, and it's getting like out of control as far as like my guy's better, your guy's better. But Josh Allen put together every single week for the last 4 weeks, he's broken a record, whether it's a Bills record or an NFL record. Every single week, this dude is doing that, and he's beating the Detroit Lions. He's not beating the Giants. He's not beating, you know, I know
the Chiefs too.
The Chiefs. Yeah, he's beating people handedly with one hand, you know. I just think like all of a sudden there was this resurgence of like, well, look at what Lamar's doing great. Look at Lamar's numbers. And I wanted to be like, look at last year we were saying this, like, how dare you? Josh Allen has all these numbers. What do you mean? Like, and nobody cared. No, Lamar's the guy. And now here we are. Lamar's got a little bit better numbers in some categories. Josh Allen is played and won big games, and now with one hand, and hopefully this just kills it all. They think that the performance against the Steelers yesterday solidified Lamar's, and I'm like, that just looked like a regular ass game to me.
Was that Lamar running through the defensive line, or was that Derrick Henry?
Lamar cut off that one big dread he had, right? Like, yeah.
I'm with you, RT. I'm with you. I mean, he's pushing 1,500 rushing yards. Derrick Henry. We don't have that in our backfield, so it's a little easier to pass the ball when you got to stack the box with 7, 8, 9 just to stop Henry, and they're not. So it is what it is. There's more dependent on what Josh is doing than there is what Lamar is doing. Which makes him the most valuable player.
Yeah, I tweeted out that if you think Lamar is the MVP over Allen, that means that you think the Bills rosters is better than the Baltimore roster when the quarterbacks are removed. And so if you're saying Lamar is the MVP, that's what you're saying. So if you start going, and I believe this is an amazing team. I love our team. Now, I'm not trying to stack it up against anybody, but if you have Derrick Henry against James Cook, which James Cook is an amazing running back, but he's not having the season Derrick Henry is, you know? So if we're going into that little scenario, you got a 3-headed monster that's behind Josh Allen, which has been great, but he's got one guy that's really taken off a whole lot of his shoulders, so he can beat Lamar. Josh has been being Josh since his second season here in Buffalo. So.
Yeah, it's most valuable player. It's not player with the most stats.
Yeah, and I want to throw this in there too, because you talked about last year, Swank and Scott, with Lamar winning the MVP. Last year, the discussion was Lamar or Christian McCaffrey. And Christian McCaffrey didn't win it. Lamar did. Yeah. Now the discussion is Josh or Saquon, and I'm reading that people are saying Saquon should win the MVP. Well, if Christian McCaffrey didn't win it last year, why should Saquon win it this year when McCaffrey put up the same numbers that Saquon did, and Allen put up better numbers this year than what Lamar did last year, and also put up better numbers than what Lamar did last year. It just it doesn't make much sense really at all. But I know one thing: as heated as we get sticking up for our guy, wanting our guy to win the Most Valuable Player award, that's the award that he would probably not even touch if it was given to him. He wants a Super Bowl, so. It goes without saying, like the tradition in hockey is when a guy wins the Conn Smythe, he doesn't pick it up until he's given the Stanley Cup. Like you don't even come out for it. You wait till the cup comes out. That's kind of how I see Josh Allen reacting to this MVP discussion, and he's just going to keep doing what he does on the field and let the naysayers continue to naysay.
Nay. I think 100%. I think he would never let you know that he cared about it. I think if he got it, absolutely, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's absolutely second. He doesn't give one shit about it above winning a Super Bowl. We do, though, and that's kind of why we all care about it, right? Because he is our guy. He is Mr. Buffalo. He's the perfect dude to be a represent Buffalo as a city, as a team, as he's all of us growing up loving the Bills and waiting for this guy, and he's here and he's given us everything he's got all these years. So yeah, absolutely, he should have had the MVP twice by now. Sean McDermott should have had Coach of the Year twice by now. I just don't, it gets glanced over because of I think the city and the pedigree and all that other stuff. And it'd be nice, open up some eyes and give the guy a little bit of his due.
Yeah,
for sure.
Real quick here, I know we haven't talked about the New England game hardly at all, and to be honest, there's not really a lot to talk about. We will talk about it, but we're here until 3:30. I did want to shoot this at you guys really quick. Uncle James in the comments. What's up, Uncle James? Do you guys agree AFC second seed is a good spot schedule-wise? Scooter, I'll start with you this time, man. What do you think? Shooting for the 2 seed?
2 seeds fine. 2 seeds perfect. As far as I'm concerned, the 2 seed this year in the NFL and the AFC is just like that 1 seed. I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to beat. They have a hard time winning these games as it is. Like I said, their record, if you switch the 1 game scores, should be 2-11 right now. So if you do that, you finally go to playoff teams. Hopefully the referees are a little more evened out. They've created a nice referee staff for each one of these games to call equal games. I don't think the Chiefs are going to win the first game, let alone the second game. Of course, I could be eating crow later in the playoffs, but second seed is perfect because once that number 1 seed is gone, then you host the rest of the games as long as you win them. So it's not a bad spot to be.
Yeah, I agree. What do you think, RT? We holding down the fort for the second seed, or we shooting for that 1 seed?
I'm fine with it. I think I'm willing to bet on this team against anybody at this time. Josh Allen versus anybody, this offense versus anybody. I hope, to what we talked about a little bit earlier, that the defense has a couple things to iron out. A lot of that has to do with getting healthy. The majority of it, to be honest, if this defense is as healthy as this offense heading into the playoffs, I'm not afraid of anybody. I think Bills fans, some Bills fans, they're looking a little ahead, and I get why they do that. I do it sometimes too. I'm guilty of it, but at the same time, there should be nobody that we play in the playoffs that we should fear, especially early. I'm not afraid of Denver. I'm not afraid of the Chargers. I'm not afraid in the wild card round whatsoever. And going to the divisional round, to Scott's point, Kansas City is as vulnerable now as they've ever been. Yep. I thought they were vulnerable last year. I feel like we let them off the hook last year. I feel like the San Francisco 49ers let them off the hook in the Super Bowl. And now they're 1 year older. Travis Kelce's not what he was, 2-3 years ago. And Pat Mahomes is banged up. I know he played a great game yesterday, but he's still banged up, and he's going to get more banged up in the playoffs.
As it's looking now, guys, we either have the Broncos, the Chargers, or the Texans. And if we have to face either the Chargers or Texans in Buffalo, remember, Chargers play nice weather, Texans play dome. So there's our advantage right there as the second seed playing one of those guys. If we play the Broncos, obviously they play Mile High. It's a little colder there, but I think we could beat all those teams pretty.
Yeah, I'm not worried about any of those teams.
No, I'm not either. I think the Texans. I just think that shown all of their weaknesses. They kind of shot their shot halfway through the season. Like, people say a lot about like the Bills beating the Chiefs and that being our Super Bowl and blah, blah, blah. The Texans beating us this season, that was their high point. They've been an average, and I know injury and all that other stuff, but they've been an average team since that happened. I also think everybody, like, I love CJ Stroud. He's great. But the accolades that this kid got after his rookie season going into this year, he's whatever. I heard comparisons to Josh Allen. I've heard better than Josh Allen, better sense of the game.
Brian Dable said
Dable.
CJ Stroud.
I'd rather have CJ Stroud, even though he coached up Josh Allen, right? So, and you see how the Giants are doing now. Just a quick little check here. 31-7, the Falcons are beating the Giants right now.
Is he going to get fired?
He should.
He should.
Yeah.
Stroud's gonna have a hard time anyways. Dell and Diggs are both out now. Dell took a bad injury yesterday. If you guys saw
that was bad. They said dislocated knee. Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I heard it was really bad. And what a crazy year that guy has had. He goes from getting shot to hurt to all the crazy stuff that he's had to deal with. Crazy.
Nuts.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's just. I don't think any of those teams are anything I'm worrying about. Those bottom three, whoever it is. The Ravens are probably the only team right now in my gut that I'm like, that's a fight. I know that the pedigree that comes along with a postseason Chiefs team too, and they've been there and blah, 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 and the refs and all this stuff. I don't know. I don't feel that way this year. I don't feel that gut feeling of like, here we go again. I feel more like, I think the Chiefs are second round exit. I think the first playoff game they play, they're gone. I don't care who they're playing. It's just too close. It's too much. I don't know. Injuries, all that other stuff, whatever. I just think this is the year that, they fall flat. And thank God for that, hopefully.
Teams in the division are starting to get better too. I know we talk about it every year, but Jim Harbaugh is a real coach. Sean Payton's a real coach. So eventually those results will show within their coaching staff. So maybe not this year, but it's coming. It's coming for sure.
Hell yeah. You guys are killing it in the comments right now. It's 3:21. We usually push this one to 3:30. Might go a little over today. Had some more conversation than I thought. Mostly non-New England related. Rams prods, man. This kid came in when we played the Rams. We had a great interaction. Came in a little hot. We butted heads. We cooled it out. He's been a really cool, great dude. Glad that you came back, man. Brother Brent in the comments. We got Nate from Circling the Wagons podcast.
Woo-hoo!
Another great show right here on the Buff Fan Base Network. Our boy Lou RQ. Camping out, doing the thing.
Lou RQ. I love seeing that dude.
I met Lou. He came to the Ranger. He's a pretty sweet guy. He actually just recently moved out to Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So he's coming at us from 2 hours back.
I don't know. The guy's a vagabond, man. I can't keep track of him. He's here and there.
Colorado is gorgeous, man. I need to get out there. Oh my god.
Military vet as well. So thanks, Lou, for what you've done.
Lou says Dable's the next head coach of Fort Couch.
Fort Mickey D's.
Take your order, please.
You guys are killing it, man. Keep these coming, man. I'll shoot this one out there, and then we'll really dive into this New England game here a little bit. Rams Prod says, would you guys be worried if you had to play the Bengals in the playoffs if they can get in? I think it's the same kind of deal as the Chiefs. I think that previous pedigree, that part's kind of shaved off for this current Bills team. I'm not worried about it. I'm not saying that, stuff happens, whatever. I think that season with DeMar and everything that happened and them coming into the house and the cleats and the snow and the slop and they were just mentally exhausted. That year of things that happened to that team was ridiculous, shootings and just insane. Everything front to back, crazy. That was the year Dawson's Knox's brother passed away. All that stuff. Like, it was just an insane amount of stuff. And I think they were done. I think by the time they got there, they were done, and it showed.
Yep.
Yeah,
they were mentally exhausted. Was the words you used, and
yeah.
I got a hot take, guys. This is I genuinely mean it. You guys know these hot takes coming in. I would be more afraid to play the Bengals than the Chiefs. I really would.
Yeah.
I think Joe Burrow is healthier than he's ever been. I think he's healthier than Mahomes is right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jamar Chase is one of the best wideouts in football. T. Higgins is probably a number one virtually
Anywhere else?
on like 28 different teams
Yep.
right now. So I think and you look at their season, they've lost a lot of games, obviously, but they're very close. If those went the way of the Chiefs, if their luck was, on the other side of the coin, we'd be talking about a completely different AFC playoff bracket. So if they do come out this season with a playoff berth, it would be a tougher matchup for me, I think, than the Chiefs, which I know that a lot of people will look at that and say that's crazy, but I think the Bills can beat the Chiefs. They've proven it, and Joe Burrow is tough in the playoffs.
Do you think the whole Mahomes thing is clout for Mahomes? I mean, it seems like he's freaking that injury. Again, the wobble.
I think
he's looking for all this damn attention.
He walks like a baby anyway. Who knows if he's hurt
and
ever?
And then he scampers for like a 30-yard touchdown run. Didn't look hurt at all. Same BS as we saw in the playoffs last year. What's up with that?
I think there's something you put in a needle and then you put the needle somewhere or maybe there's a supplement here and there, or maybe a testosterone booster to just put the blinders on and run somebody over. Something's going on there. There's no way that a guy could limp and fall to the ground in agony 1 week, less than a week, right? Between last week's game and this week's game that they just played, and he looked like he was on Mountain Dew. You know what I mean? Checked up on Mountain Dew.
Let me just say this. A high ankle sprain is like a month to a 3-month recovery thing. And this guy came back the next week and he did what he did, whatever. Guys, no matter who we play.
You said that like a pissy teenage girl.
I am pissy teenage. See, wobbles around like a pissy teenage girl. Like, hey man, look at me, broken nail.
It's very topical. I like it.
But it doesn't matter who we're playing, whether it's Burrow or Mahomes. If Rasul Douglas, Hamlin, and Rapp aren't back, we're going to be in trouble. So thank God that we're in a situation where we are now, where if we are doing it, we're benching these guys and letting them rest, because it's good to be in that situation. Thank goodness we secured that playoff spot as soon as we did.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, well, I mean, we're a month off from the big show, basically, right? And I think this is the move. This is the healthiest I think we've been in years, ever, kind of moving into this spot. And you want your safeties out there. You want your starting, number one corner out there. You want all these guys out there, but there's something to be said about letting this depth eat. This team was way more banged up than this earlier in the season and washed teams. Like, this defense is deep. And maybe it's good, man. I want to see Bishop out there, and I want to see him making plays. That guy is a huge talent, and he just has to get time on task. Yeah. He needs to be on the field getting this time, and maybe down the stretch in the playoffs, we make a deep playoff run. You want a guy that's been seasoned a little bit and knows the speed, getting acclimated to the speed of the game, especially since these safeties seem to have been banged up quite a bit on and off throughout the season.
Yep. So like we've always said, the best reps are in-game reps. So here's your chance. And for all of us that are rooting for Kyer Elam, there are a handful of us still. This is your time to shine, brother. It is your time to shine.
He had a hell of a game. When he suited up here this last time. I haven't lost hope. And I think we were talking on the show too, man. They have got to put in more man packages. Like, there has to be more man packages in their plan.
When they do, he's playing.
Yeah.
And just adjust a little bit and not every matchup's the same, right?
Yes.
Not every team you're playing each week to week. That's what makes this game as great as it is. Is that each week is so different. Each opponent's so different in a 17 game schedule. So when you're playing Detroit, when you're playing the Rams, that they can spread you out wide. Here's a segue. New England cannot do that. They do not have a receiver that I can name with any confidence to do anything. I was telling Swank as you hopped up before we were live, Scott. I went to look at the stat leaders, just to get an idea of who are the stat leaders in New England. I was getting like PTSD of like 2005 Buffalo Bills. It's like their highest wide receiver, yardage total was like 700 yards. Hunter Henry was all over it. It's like that's all they got. That's it.
Yeah, they focus on tight ends.
No wonder why they're 3-11. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
I think two out of their top
Unreal.
3 targets are tight ends.
Yeah,
And they
Hunter
also
Henry
get the running backs.
and Hooper and yeah, and
Yeah.
there's guys that they drafted this past draft that they thought, during the offseason they were getting so much hype, like Jalen Polk, and there was another guy, Baker, I believe, is it Jalen
UCF guy.
Baker?
Yep, Javon Baker.
They've done nothing. They have not done anything. So they look like they've been busts, obviously. So it's rough times in New England, and we're not complaining about it.
Right.
Nope. Speaking of which, and guys, it's 329. We are part of the Buff Fan Base Network. Super proud to be, and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com over there in Rhine Square and give them all your money. They'll do great things with it. You'll be better for it. And hey, guys, happy holidays. You know what I mean? We haven't even said that yet, but Christmas right up around the corner. Have a great time. You won't get your shirt before Christmas, but you can still go buy them. They'll come up after Christmas, and you'll be like, it's like second gift. Awesome.
Happy.
Wear it for your New Year's party, your New Year's Eve party, right?
Hell yeah. Let's go quick around the horn here, and we'll just hit our defense and our offense. Scott, I'll start with you, buddy. We talked a little bit about what we want out of this defense, the depth, and what it's going to look like today. But what do you think this defense has to do to hold back this really high-powered, high-flying, crazy Patriots offense?
Well, knowing the inactives and actives I know now, I think for our defenders, especially our defense, our secondary, just play your role, stick to your role. Don't try to venture off into a zone and drift back or come up and get yourself out of place. Play the game plan, get your reps in, and get familiar with this system, because there's going to be a lot thrown at you. McDermott and Babbich's system is a very difficult one, even though it seems plain. There's a lot that goes into it because there's a lot of trickery. Play your role, and I know it's cliche to say, but for real, don't try to gamble. Just understand what you're doing. Win the game. That's all. Win this game.
I like it. While you were doing that, I got curious about the inactives for New England. Not that we'll know a lot of these names, but Jabril Peppers is inactive today.
Yep, there's two of them.
Joe Milton, the third quarterback, he's out, so he's like the third stringer. Marcus Jones, corner. Jamichael Hasty, running back. Jamichael Hasty, my bad. Therese Robinson, guard. Lashisis Smith.
Look at us.
Look at us. Is that
Jabril Peppers and Marcus Jones were starting as of today.
Yeah.
Those are surprise add-ons to the secondary for the Patriots as being inactive. So they're hurting too.
Yeah. So just to throw that in there. RT, what do you think, man? What's our defense have to do today? What do you want to see from them?
Honestly, I want to see a lot of pressure. If there's anything that I can say with certainty about the Patriots, and this is another kind of hot take here, you guys know me, especially during February, March, heading into April, I'm a big draft evaluator nut when it comes to quarterbacks especially. And I like Drake May a lot. I was kind of annoyed when the Patriots ended up with Drake May. I was hoping that they wouldn't get Drake May. I like Drake May a lot. I think he's got a lot of potential, and I think he is very Josh Allen-esque. So it's going to be interesting to see. This is, in practice, Buffalo's defense lines up against Josh Allen. In game now against the Patriots, they're going up against a quarterback that is as close or as similar athletically to Allen as I think that you could find in the league. And I know that that's really high. I don't want to say praise, but it's a high claim because he's a rookie. But I think we'll see shades of it today. And Buffalo's defense has to be on their P's and Q's, force Drake May to step up into the pocket rather than step out of the pocket and extend plays. I think sacks pressures is a big key in this one for sure. So Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, who's about to get paid, his agent's going to get much higher of a share of that contract than what he's making now. I think come March, Ed Oliver coming off of what I thought Ed Oliver's best week was last week, I think, in his entire career. Especially, honestly, the last 2 weeks. Detroit, great game. Last week, great game. So I'm just, flying high with him, hoping that we can see, some pressures out of him as well. So huge for this game and beyond as well.
100%, man. I'm with you with the Eddie O thing, and I think he heard everybody's frustration throughout the. We try to stay pretty positive as far as like the K Gun faction and Sunday sessions, man. It's no fun dogging. We had to do that for like 17 years, So it's fun to have a good team that's competitive, but it's never perfect, right? Like it's that strive to be perfect that makes a team and a player and an organization the greatest it can be, because they always know that there's something to improve on. Eddie Oliver, as much as we just hadn't seen a lot out of him this whole season, and he signed that contract last year and everybody was hyped. He had a great season last year, and then he comes in and it's just kind of like lackluster. I don't know, to me 100% if that's an effort thing. I think it's more teams have figured out how to play this 4-man rush that McDermott insists on doing. And I've been the one banging the drum for more exotic kind of blitz packages and stuff that would make some of these older and I don't know, even mobile quarterback, anybody that is under duress when they're throwing the ball, aside from our boy Josh Allen and maybe the MVP runner-up Lamar Jackson, like you're bound to make a mistake. You're bound. If you're thrown off your rhythm, you're out of sync. You're running where you don't want to go. You're looking. There's problems all over there, and it's proven for years and years and decades with the NFL that if you get to the quarterback, you hit him, you bump him, you make a move where he doesn't want to move. Bad things happen for that quarterback.
Just watch the 3 Super Bowls that Tom Brady lost.
Yeah.
Just watch. Yeah, that was his kryptonite. Front four that could force him to throw, make a decision quicker than he even was capable of, which is pretty hard to do because he threw the ball really quick. But force him to be mobile, which he was not, and that's when he would get into a little bit of a panic and get a little rattled and a little heated, and one hurry turns into one sack turns into one turnover. So that's the key, I think, especially against a young guy that has played pretty well for a very lightly talented team. I mean, this team is really bad. I didn't even really know how bad it was as far as like skill position players until I looked at the stats, because I know that they're not a good team. Obviously, the record's 3-11, but man, I was blown away by how low their numbers were. And maybe they'd be a little bit better if Drake May had started week 1 on, but who's to say? You never know.
Hard to tell.
Yeah. Where I'm at, I just want to see that depth rotation come in, and I want to see pressure, man. And it'd be nice if Ramondre Stevenson didn't have like a record day against us. I think that's who they're going to lean on quite a bit. I think these linebackers are going to get a workout between that and tight end passes over the middle. And these guys, man, have been embarrassed by us for the last 6 years, whatever. Ever since Brady left town, dude, they've been embarrassed by us minus one game. So don't think for a second like they feel the way we felt when Tom Brady was in town. Like they want to spoil stuff for us just as much as we wanted to get one over on them. So this game isn't
when Jim Kelly was in town too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Brady was 33-3 against our Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. I went to a few.
So much trauma that I remember that Fitzpatrick game that they won.
I was at that game when Drayton Florence picked off that pass hole. That was one of the loudest times I've ever heard that stadium. It was so loud. It was.
Plus, you also have that
unbelievable
Lawyer Malloy and Sam Adams game too.
Sam Adams, yeah. Unreal.
Good times in those. Few little sprinkled in good times. Let's go around and what do you want to see out of this offense? Go ahead, RT. I'll start with you.
Offensively, honestly, I think a little bit of the taste of their own medicine. Scott kind of alluded to it. This is a very inward-outward offense for New England. I'd like to see the tight ends of the Buffalo Bills. Dawson Knox made one of the best catches I've ever seen a tight end make last week, as well. Dalton Kincaid getting closer and closer to full health. I think he did come back, still a little bit banged up from what I saw just in the limited times. I keeping my eyes out on 86, making sure he's okay, because that guy's a stud. And I'd love to see them get the ball to Kincaid and Knox and then work their way to the outside. But thinking about this game, I just got a hunch that Keon Coleman is going to have a day today. There's just a hunch. I don't know if it'll happen, but I just have a feeling that it's been a bit. He made a really clutch catch against Detroit. As well, I think he made one against the Rams. It was a pretty important catch too. I just love the kid. I think he is a breath of fresh air. I don't think we've even seen the surface of his potential yet, and I know he's due to create another big moment. So could come, today. Could be today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Scott, what do you think, man? What's this offense got to do? What do you want to see from this offense?
I just want to see Josh Allen be careful, and I know a lot of people don't looking at me like, what the hell is he talking about? We just saw the inactives for the Patriots. They are missing 2 other 4 starting defensive backs. And what happens when you play against people with inexperience is sometimes where you think they're going to be as they should be, they may be off center, off course, in the wrong zone. So just mind your P's and Q's, as Josh Allen. Make sure you're able to read.
That was a kid saying, where's it?
Yeah, right.
Peas and carrots.
But sometimes they're in the wrong spot. And sometimes you ever hear being in the wrong spot sometimes is a good thing. You don't want that to be against the Buffalo Bills right now. So don't get trapped. Play your offense. And this goes the same for Joe Brady. Keep it hot. These guys are young. I mentioned on a K-Gun report, we have 2 young coordinators. They are not going to take a foot off the pedal. So stay hot. Call your game plan and just come out with a win. Just come out with a win because number 2 seed is still up for grabs. We just need to win a couple more games.
This is great points by both of you guys. I love those takes.
Love it.
This to me is, yes, win these games you're supposed to win. No playing down to your opponent. I think Lou RQ said something about McDermott. Yeah, the clapper. Don't take your foot off the gas, man. Like, lay it to him. This is not just this week. This is for years and years and years of embarrassment. This is for all those Belichicks, all the Tom Brady's. We forget about Patriots fans. How much we loathed Patriots fans waving all their accolades and Twitter and social media and bombing wherever. This is to prove that these teams are beneath you. We don't even worry about this. Bench Allen in the 4th because you're up by so many points. Stop the run, you know what I mean? But well-rounded. I want to see. I would love to see Coleman. I want to see Cooper get some catches. He needs to get into fighting shape for the playoffs here. Let's go. Get everybody into it. Everybody eats. I want to see 2 receivers with 100-yard games today. Okay. I want to see multiple touchdowns. Like let's go. And a well-balanced running attack on top of it. Just make them hate being in Buffalo and then hate having to see us in 2 more weeks after this. That's what I want. Let's hit up, guys. 3:40. We're going over. Who cares?
Overtime.
Who cares? It's overtime. Let's hit me with your X factors and then your score prediction right in the same take. Scooter, we'll start with you, buddy. What do you got for an X factor and a score prediction?
X factor is next man up. Obviously, we've said that before, but we got 3 defensive backs that are out. Obviously, some of these guys that were injured before have lingering injuries that are making the game dressing up today. So when called upon, yes, the next man up. We need this kind of. We know what happened. We know what happened last year in the playoffs when our linebackers fell. We were relying on AJ Klein, not a bad linebacker, but he was calling the defense, and it was a clear struggle. This is the time, and if you're going to bench people, this is the time to do it 3 weeks before the playoffs are. So let's prove our depth. Let's prove that we can survive even with injuries, and let's ride this into the playoffs. So it definitely is the next man up. The unsung heroes right now is the X factor to the victory of this game. My score prediction, I'm going with the power of the O's, 35-20. 2-0 will be that 0 for the power of the O's, 35-20 Buffalo.
Nice, man. I like it. RT, what do you got, buddy? X factor and score prediction.
This is a fun one because it's a shout out to what you just said, Swank. We had to endure lots of years of the New England Patriots kicking our ASS. My X factor in this one, the notorious Buffalo Bills Mafia, the 70-75 or 75,400 if the Big Tree Inn is full to capacity. They got like 398 on the door, right around the corner from the stadium. Shout out to them. But I think the Bills Mafia is a factor in this one because, listen, there were so many games where these two teams lined up against one another, and it was clear that the Patriots were a dynasty. They had the greatest quarterback of that era, and obviously, I think it's safe to say of all time, one of the greatest coaches who I think is destroying his legacy going into college football. But that's another topic for another day. But I am a avid Buffalo Bills fan, but on the other side of the coin, baseball-wise, you guys know I'm an avid Boston Red Sox fan, thanks to my grandfather. So I went to Fenway a time or two, and I'm in Boston, and I don't see any Patriots merchandise for the 6-time Super Bowl champions really in any bar, and this was 3-4 years ago. So I'm thinking to myself, are the Patriots fans off the wagon already? Well, for the Patriots fans that are coming to Buffalo for this one, they're going to be reminded that the Bills Mafia never left the side of their team. They were always through thick and thin cheering this team on with so much pride. No matter whether we were 5-8 or 5-9, or I remember one year we started the season 0-8 with Fitz and Chan. I think that was 2010, if my memory serves me right. Going to Toronto to play a home game, quote unquote home game. We've endured a lot, and I think that for any Patriots fan that is making the trek, I appreciate it. You're keeping the economy in the local area booming, but at the same time, I think you'll be reminded that there is only one Bills Mafia, and it's right in Orchard Park, New York, baby.
And they've been there the whole time.
Yep.
Haven't left. That's going to be a cold-ass game, by the way. Kyle offered me the tickets here like a week ago, and after the Niners game and everything, I thought about it, and I was like, man, I really want to shoot for a playoff game. I've never been to a playoff game. I got my night game off my bucket list this year. If I can get a chance to go to a playoff game, that's where I'm going to freeze my ass off, not at a Patriots game.
Local should have stepped up when they changed the game to 4:25 to say, do you realize Bills fans are going to be there at 8 o'clock in the morning waiting for a 4:25 game now?
Yeah.
That is irresponsible, NFL.
Yeah. Whatever. You know what, man? Make your money. Go ahead and make your money. As long as the Bills keep winning and doing their thing, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Real quick, guys, there is a local legend. Got a renegade, if you will. Our friend, Mr. Corey Blaine, who continuously brings the hot SpaghettiO takes. Each video gets better and better each week. I saw our boy Lou RQ. He was looking for the video. Corey is like such a social media debutante that he like
savant.
Waits. He just waits, dude, until we air it, and then he airs it so he can, man, just double down. Smart guy. Guys, here's your SpaghettiO hot take of the week by my boy Corey Blaine.
What's up, guys? So we've been going pretty crazy the last couple weeks, turning up. I think like the weather, it's time to chill out this week. Quick little shout out to 26 Shirts, the guys at 24/7 Buff Fandemonium, Bills Mafia babes. So this week, I can't believe I'm going to say it because I love him. He's my favorite player of all time. He's Superman. He's Josh Allen. Come on. But I want to see him chill out a little bit and see the receivers and the running backs do a lot. Pass the ball, run the ball. Let's see our offense just get it this week. Hopefully sit the guys by halftime, have a couple, maybe little weeks off at halftime the next 3 games. No, divisional games are always hard, so we'll see. It'd be nice, but it's still going to be a tough game. So I think the Bills are going to win 38-10. What do you think, bud?
8-10.
Ooh, I like that. Gave the O in there.
Damn.
Give our little cheers. Cheers, bud. Go Bills! You know we don't do it like that, huh? We said we got to chill out, right? Here you go. Hold this on, Daddy.
Hold it. Here, hold this.
This one might be rated PG-13, guys, with the shirt off. Come on, baby.
Oh, man, dude. Before he does this, all right, I don't watch these.
He left his ass back in the seat. Corey, you left your ass back in the seat.
I don't watch these because I liked it. Same thing with Eli's. I like watching it with all you guys. Nobody's seen it before. It's fun, right? The reaction. I know Corey, so I knew this was bullshit. B, I almost paused it earlier because when he was like, we're going to keep it chill, his daughter's face was like, okay.
Look, yeah, it's 0 degrees out. He got shorts on.
Here we go.
Crazy.
Go Bills! Go Buffalo!
That was like a dive face plant.
Oh my god!
Playing.
Cheers, Corey. I don't have a spoon, so I'm actually.
There you go.
Ooh.
I'm gonna stick to the PBRs. Me for my X factor here today, guys. I want that interior defensive line to just be great. I want Stevenson to not have many yards at all. Hold him under 40. How about that? Show us you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
I already talked a little bit about the depth and stuff, but to me, like, stop that run game. That's going to be big going forward into the playoffs. If you could do that, I will be a happy boy. So that's my X factor. And if you want to put a name to it, let's go Jordan Phillips. How about Jordan Phillips has a day today, the cheerleader for Buffalo. My score prediction, I didn't want to be too disrespectful, so I gave him 10 points while we scored 45. We're going to absolutely dunk on these motherfuckers today. I can't wait. 45-10.
I actually forgot to give a score prediction. I just realized.
Oh, I thought you did.
No, yeah. Oh. I'm gonna go 40. I'm gonna put up a 40 spot.
I like it.
I'm gonna go 40-13.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The power of the O's. I almost went shutout, but I mean that's that's a lot.
You're playing in the NFL. That's very hard to do.
Yeah. Garbage time. I mean, you and I witnessed it.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years ago against the Texans. That was great, but
it was awesome.
That was a different defense, I feel like, too. Anyway, yeah, guys, I think that's it right there. There was one little question. Let me see. Rams prods. I wanted to get back to it. Maybe we can end on this, and appreciate all you guys. 826 of you tuning into the Buff Fan Base's exclusive pregame show Sunday sessions. Right here, our guy Rams prods. Where do you all realistically rank McDermott as a head coach?
It's easy for me, man.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
go ahead. You lead it off, bro.
Second seed right now. This is a rebuilding year. We have a bunch. He gave up his defensive duties to a young first-year guy that takes a lot of brass, especially with the pride that he has in running this defense. Right now, I mean, you can't give it to Andy Reid. It's expected. You got to give it to McDermott as number one right now. As far as I'm concerned right now, Detroit Lions and Campbell was expected. This was not expected of the Buffalo Bills. Bills fans would say yes. But is there a rebuilding year, guys? And we're at number 2. And we beat the 2 top teams in the league. So there you are, McDermott. It's not a homer decision. That's reality.
Damn.
I'm just pissed that he's never been considered coach of the year after all these years, what he's done for the Buffalo Bills.
I'll tell you what, he should have been his first season. He should have been. Dable won.
That was his first season was literally was his best case to win that award.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody had us as third in our division. Everybody.
Yeah.
And that's not the rest of the NFL. And
they traded away. They traded away.
How many weeks ago?
Yeah, they traded away Sammy Watkins and Ronald Darby, and everyone thought the sky was falling, and they were tanking like the Sabres did, and they made the playoffs. They broke the playoff drought. And they needed a little luck. They needed a little red rifle, magic from Cincinnati, but they took care of their end, and the football gods were in our favor that night. But I would say that Sean McDermott has consistently been a top 5 coach since he came into the NFL. I think that is a safe assessment. Now, if you were to look at situationally, sometimes there are things that happen that shouldn't happen. And you could say the same thing about any coach. Bill Belichick called one of the worst plays against the Indianapolis Colts that I have ever seen. I believe it was, one of the worst go-forward attempts that I've ever seen in an AFC championship game against the Indianapolis Colts a few years back. So, Dan Campbell is known to go forward on 4th down and, have horrible situational management. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm even guilty of getting frustrated, but the Houston game was frustrating at the end there. what are the other lot? The Baltimore game was a little rough, but to me the Rams was the roughest. To me, that was a game that, things were just not right. The scout team, whatever it was, I think let McDermott down for that game. That's how I look at that. But I would say too that I think this is McDermott's best season as a coach of the Bills. With everything that was stacked against them, they thought that, Josh Allen was, what would Josh Allen do without Stephon Diggs? What would Stephon Diggs do without Josh Allen? What would a lot of these guys do that played with Josh Allen and then went on to other teams and they only came right back? So, it's a pedigree here. It's a culture here. He was the first guy to talk about it, needing to change it. The other side of the coin, you got the Sabres, who have needed a culture change for 15 years, and they haven't been able to find the right mix of people to do it. Fortunately, the Bills were able to do that.
Yeah. It's a hard thing to do. It's an absolutely
Very
hard thing to do. And I think, we talk about it a little bit where people get complacent in where we are now, as opposed to like realizing where we were in the past, right? It's like that old adage about like, if you don't learn history and study history, you're doomed to repeat it, right? So like we've lived this misery. We're all old enough to know the history and to feel the and when McDermott came in here, that was a beacon of hope. The people league wide, like mostly fans, I should say, not coaches or players or any of that stuff, but fans league wide joke around about the culture thing, joke around about the process, joke around, even our own people, right? And whatever, that's great. That stuff matters. That it absolutely matters, and it's like completely proven that it matters. There's Dan Campbell's doing the same thing in Detroit. He changed the whole culture of that place. That's why it's different. Why is he looked at in a different light than McDermott? Because McDermott's like the quiet, calculated, calm guy, and Campbell's the guy with a lipper being like, I love my team, man. I know what we're going for. 4th and 12, man. I'm their own 30, man.
My man.
It's on me, man. It's on me. Do some push-ups like he's a character. Like, to me, man, this is not a play. This is not a movie. This is us trying to win it all. I want the guy that's calm and cool and collective and not going to give the media shit. Yeah, maybe it's boring. Win games. You're winning games. Guess what? It wasn't exciting when we were losing for all those years either. So like, I'm good with it, dude.
And it was clear when we were losing, moments going into a game or moments after a game, that these coaches just did not know what they were doing. Like they did not know what to do with the players in certain situations. They didn't know who to draft. They didn't know when to draft them. I mean, I could go on, but honestly, my biggest stripe for McDermott, check mark, I guess I should say, is the fact that he does coach like a wrestler. And that is a really rare thing for somebody to approach one sport completely to what he had learned in the past when he was wrestling and playing football, of course, but it's not how many times you get knocked down, how many times you get back up, pushing through the Damar Hamlin situation as best as they could. That was as unprecedented a situation as any outside of COVID. That was unbelievable.
Unheard of Pagula situation.
Right.
That was kept under wraps, and he was still part of that.
Yeah.
A big part of that.
And I will say, Scott, I don't think enough people have really given that the heart that they should. And that's one thing that I really wish more of Sabres fans and Bills fans. We can't praise Terry Pagula just because the Bills are good, and we can't hate Terry Pagula because the Sabres aren't. I mean, it's really the owner can only do so much other than write checks. I hate to say that. There's decisions. Maybe there's decisions that should have been made that weren't made or whatnot, but you could do that about any coach, any owner, any player. I mean, it's just hindsight. It is what it is.
Isn't that what we want as a fan base, is for the owner to just write checks? Look at Jerry Jones, dude. Like, look at what he's doing down there. Look at what happens when we've seen it so many times. An owner gets too involved with a team and completely dismantles it. And just look at the Jets. Look, there's so many examples of like just these egomaniac idiot guys that have no idea really what they're doing, or they have enough of an idea that they're dangerous, or they struck gold one time with Troy Aikman or whatever. It's just I want a guy like Pegula he's sitting back. He's trying to hire the best guy to do the best job.
As they should.
Everybody in the whole mafia should be writing Doug Marrone letters thanking him for being a piece of shit and leaving. It should be constant until the end of time.
Love you. Bye.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
And thank you for flying out to Wyoming and going to that diner with Josh Allen when no team wanted to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of layers to this story that, they're saying, oh, we want to take a look at this kid in Wyoming. His college coach has got high marks for him, but there's other guys. We'll fly down there. And then they go to this diner and he knows like every, grandma, mom, or aunt or uncle in the restaurant. And they're like, this guy might work. This guy, this guy might actually work for us. He's very Buffalo.
The DNA.
And then the athletic talent was already known and off the charts. So it was just a matter of believing in the kid. And I think too, you guys remember that draft where there were some tweets coming out that, were a little bit old and stuff, and it caused his draft stock to fall. I'm thankful that it did. I'm thankful that he is where he is.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Oh, guys. Wow. This was an hour today. We turned a half hour into an hour.
It went quick.
I was thinking Patriots week, baby. We're going to be out in a clean 15. Appreciate all you guys hanging out with us. Again, this is Sunday Sessions. We're on the Buff Fan Base Network. We're sponsored by 26 Shirts. Go to 26shirts.com. Check out what's going on over there with Del Reed and the gang. We do this show every single game day, an hour and a half before kickoff. Join us. Tell your friends, your fams, your ex-girlfriends, whoever you want to tell. Just tell them to tune in. We're going to do a little final thought. We're going to get the hell out of here and get to our rituals. And let's go ahead and start with you, RT, man. Tell them what's up. Give them your final thought.
Final thought to kind of echo, my sentiment. Really excited for the present and the future of this team. I'm hoping that we can get to that next level, get over that hump in the playoffs to get us to a Super Bowl and drop down a Super Bowl banner in our brand new stadium in 2026. I've heard nothing but good things about this new stadium. Outside of the ticket prices, obviously those will be really, really high.
Yeah.
And then maybe they'll come down. Maybe we'll hold out a little hope, maybe a little bit, just enough for us to be able to say, let's go to a game and then sell our homes and sell our cars and all that stuff. But no, I'm just kidding. But honestly, I'm really excited for the present and future. Josh Allen is playing his best football. I love the guys on this team, even the guys that don't get talked about nearly enough. The Dawson Knoxes, the Connor McGoverns, the Spencer Browns, the guys that just do kind of the grunt work that you don't see on the highlight reel that have really shown up for this team. Christian Benford, obviously, as well, 6th rounder. There's just a lot to be excited about as a Bills fan. And, obviously we know that the Sabres are on a long skid, but I think that with one team, things are great. One team, things are not so great, but maybe that's what it takes to kind of look across the aisle and say, hey, look how this team has done it the last 6, 7, 8 years for things to turn around. You have your own example in your own backyard. So Wednesdays at 8, I won't be on this Wednesday because it's Christmas. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everybody. But I will be on the first week of 2025. Cannot believe that I'm saying that. This year went way too fast.
Sure did, man. It's wild.
Wow.
Well, we love you, RT. So glad to have you be a part. Happy holidays.
Love you too.
Thanks so much for being here with us today.
Of course.
Scooter Magooter, give him your final thought, buddy.
Final thought. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays. K-Gun Report won't be going this Tuesday. So, guys, just find
watch an old episode.
Yeah, there we are.
There's a lot of shows on the network.
Watch this episode.
Yeah.
Feel good.
Pick it apart. Yeah.
But, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to you too. Love you guys. Glad we do this every Sunday or hour and a half before every game. To the fans out there, be loud today. You're going to be cold, so keep moving. Single digits. Be loud. The Patriots have had our number. We've obviously had their number the past couple of years, but it's still sour from what we've had to deal with Tom Brady year. So be loud, be obnoxious, and make their life miserable today. Go Bills.
Yes, indeed. Be obnoxious, indeed. Guys, appreciate you guys supporting us and hanging out. We know it went long, but damn, you just kept climbing and climbing and climbing. We're almost up to 900 here. Don't forget, you can check out the K-Gun Report every Tuesday, except for this Tuesday, right here where you're watching. Buff Fan Base Network, Facebook, YouTube, Twitters, all that stuff. And don't forget, the Bills have not been this good. Enjoy every single goddamn day. Thank Santa Claus and Krampus and the Grinch.
I just watched that last night. Oh my
thank
God.
Bad Santa. Thank Macaulay Culkin. Thank
Clark
everybody.
Griswold,
Man. Clark
Chevy Chase.
Griswold. Yeah, man. Thank Charlie Brown, that little nerdy dentist from the Reindeer movie. Thank all of them, man. And on behalf of us and everybody at 24/7 BF, man, we love the hell out of you. Merry Christmas. Be safe. Have some drinks for us, and go Bills.
Go Bills.
Cheers. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
Let that music run. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. Bang out the buzzword, teaching that blind man to sing. You might get the best of him, but you'll never fool me. Now, sweet talk to beanstalk, tell Jack to go and fetch your bank. Try that and upstate boy to a different kind of scene. Went off to college, but college done up me. Couldn't get my master's in truth and loyalty. I said, whoa, let that music run. I said, whoa, I am my father's son. Let that fuse and run.